Welcome to the training webinar for application reviewers for the Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program Media Literacy Cohort. The Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program Media Literacy Cohort, Fulbright T, Media Literacy Cohort for short, is sponsored by the U.S. Department of State with funding provided by the U.S. government and administered by IREX. It is governed by policies established by the Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Board. For those of you who have served as a reviewer for the U.S. Department of State's teacher exchange programs in the past, welcome back. And for those of you who have not, welcome to you as well. We are happy to have you all on this review committee and to introduce you to the Fulbright T program Media Literacy Cohort and Review Cycle. Whether you are a new or returning reviewer, there will be components of the review and nomination process that are new to you. We want to make sure that everyone has the tools and understanding necessary to complete the work as a reviewer, including looking at some screenshots of the online application system. All of you come from unique backgrounds in education and will review the candidates through your own personal lens. We will walk through the criteria for selection to promote consistency across the scoring process. Webinar objectives: provide an overview of the Fulbright T program Media Literacy Cohort, describe the profile of an ideal candidate, communicate expectations and responsibilities of application reviewers, and articulate the eligibility requirements, criteria for nomination, and scoring process. The Fulbright T program is a 6-week professional development experience that provides academic seminars focusing on new teaching methodologies, content-based instruction, project-based learning, infusing thematic topics into curriculum, lesson planning, and instructional technology training for teachers. The program's media literacy cohort includes content-specific coursework with a focus on 21st century classroom media literacy and critical thinking skills. Topics of seminars may include recognizing bias and propaganda, stereotypes and misinformation, strategies for improving students' critical thinking, analytical, and communication skills, how media literacy promotes civic engagement and the role of media in democratic societies, and fostering cyber safety and digital citizenship in the classroom. The program will also include a practicum of at least 40 hours with a U.S. partner teacher of a similar teaching discipline in a U.S. secondary school near the host university to actively engage participants in the U.S. classroom environment. Cultural enrichment, mentoring, and support will be provided to participants throughout the program. Program goals: promote mutual understanding among teachers, their schools, and communities in the United States and abroad by building teachers' and students' global competence and by sharing teaching best practices internationally. Provide in-service professional development to enhance teachers' expertise in their disciplines and equip them with a deeper understanding of best practices in education. Contribute to improving education in participating countries by preparing participants to serve as teacher leaders who apply and share their experience and skills with their colleagues and students upon returning home. Fulbright T media literacy participants become cultural ambassadors, bridging the gaps between American and international teachers, individuals, and institutions, becoming a part of a global network of inspired educators. These educators collaborate on best practices across borders and build capacity in educational institutions. Since you're helping us to determine who is best suited for the program, it is important to start with the basics. Program eligibility. Please note that secondary level teachers include both middle and high school teachers serving students between approximately 12 and 18 years of age. Teachers responsible for teaching additional grade levels must teach middle or high school students more than 50% of their work time in order to be eligible for the program. Eligible applicants must meet the following requirements: be current secondary school level full-time teachers of English, English as a foreign language, the language and literature of their home country, social studies, civics, history, global studies, media studies, communication, journalism, law, or related fields at institutions serving primarily a local population, have earned a bachelor's degree or equivalent, have completed at least 5 years of full-time teaching by the start of the program, reside in the country of citizenship at the time of application and of program participation, earn a minimum score of 500 on the paper-based TOEFL or an equivalent English language examination, have experience or demonstrated interest in the field of 21st century media literacy and critical thinking, and demonstrate a commitment to continue teaching after completion of the program. Applicants have been pre-screened by IREX staff and determined eligible for review. If you have any questions about an applicant's eligibility, be sure to note this. As part of the application, candidates were required to submit documents to support their eligibility for the program. MA transcripts, CVs and resumes, a leave approval form from their district, and others they feel may support their application. Some of these application materials may still be in process of submission if they were granted an extension. Please note that IREX is tracking and collecting these documents. This program is designed to build capacity in education in participating countries by investing in the professional development of highly active, motivated, and engaged educators. By providing Fulbright T media literacy participants with the opportunity to share their expertise with teachers and educators in the U.S., the Fulbright T program media literacy cohort provides educators with exposure and connection to a global network of stakeholders and thought leaders in education, to collaborate on best educational practice and leverage the professional experience for global impact, especially in the most under-resourced schools and student populations. Fulbright T media literacy participants can contribute to building capacity in educational institutions globally. Profile of an ideal candidate. Acts as a catalyst for growth and impact, committed to professional growth and development, demonstrates a commitment to K-12 education field, passionate about learning and sharing educational practices across borders, passionate in the field of media literacy and in promoting critical thinking in the classroom. Application reviewer role. As a reviewer, you are identifying educators who are best suited for the program. Each applicant will be evaluated by 2 reviewers on the committee. In addition to this training webinar, each reviewer will receive a scoring rubric and guidance to support the understanding of the scoring criteria reviewers will use to evaluate applicants for participation in the Fulbright T program media literacy cohort. ECA and IREX are available to answer questions about eligibility, evaluation criteria, etc. However, the recommendation for participation in Fulbright T media literacy and ultimate nomination decision is up to the reviewers assigned to the application. Application reviewer expectations. Each reviewer on the committee will read and evaluate applications in the IREX online application system, score each application and provide a recommendation according to the rubric in the online application score form, provide essential written feedback to explain scoring decisions. You will be able to log into the IREX online application using the account information we will send you after this webinar. This reading period is approximately 2 weeks, so please be sure to budget your time accordingly to read the applications. IREX will send regular reminders about reading and the deadline for submission. Please plan to read the applications at a pace that will ensure the most consistency. We have provided the rubric as a tool for consistency within your own scoring, as well as parity across the scores of different members of the committee. We cannot emphasize enough the value of written feedback. The open-ended comment field in the online score form is extremely helpful during the nomination process. The final number of assigned applications will depend on the total number of submitted applications. Nomination process. U.S. embassies and Fulbright commissions reviewed applications and interviewed candidates in participating countries. U.S. embassies and Fulbright commissions submitted ranked nomination lists to IREX. IREX checked nominated candidates for technical eligibility and assigned applications to external reviewers. Each application will be reviewed by 2 reviewers assigned to the same set of applications. IREX will compile scores and reviewer feedback, and in collaboration with ECA, determine a final list of finalists and alternates. Nominated candidates will be sent to the Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Board, FFSB. Final decisions are made by FFSB. Reviewers should consider closely the U.S. Embassy or Fulbright Commission rankings and review the interview score forms, as often the embassies and commissions are taking into account regional priorities and additional information gleaned from interviews when submitting their rank nominations. Application scoring. Now that we've discussed the basics of the Fulbright T program media literacy cohort and the role of the reviewer in the nomination process, let's turn our attention to the online application system, which is where all applications and your scores and comments will be housed. Application reviewer scoring tools. Score form and online application system, OAS, applicant scoring rubric, application reviewer guidance document. We will walk through each of these with you. Please email fulbrightreaders@irex.org if you have questions about a particular criterion. As we go over these criteria from the rubric and score form, please note that we'll be giving suggestions for where in the application you may find evidence of an applicant's qualifications towards a particular criterion. We anticipate that you will find other evidence throughout the application and supplemental materials, but we wanted to recommend questions that may be most relevant to each criterion. This is a sample reviewer score form in the online application system. The Fulbright Team Media Literacy Score form may vary slightly. When we zoom in a bit more closely, you can see that each criterion is shown with an appropriate scale of points to reward for that criterion. This corresponds to our other scoring tool, the rubric. The online score form is where you will actually submit your scores, comments, and recommendations for each applicant. You will receive a PDF of the rubric for your use. Today we will look at each criteria on the rubric and clarify any questions you may have. Application scoring criteria. 1. Demonstrated commitment to teaching at the secondary level. 2. Demonstrated leadership and collaboration potential. 3. Potential for developing long-term linkages between U.S. and home country schools. 4. Preparedness for an intensive U.S.-based professional development program. 5. Demonstrate commitment to or interest in promoting media literacy and critical thinking in the classroom. 6. Other considerations. Potential to reach under-resourced schools and communities, overqualification, previous professional development abroad, U.S. Embassy and/or Fulbright Commission nomination ranking order. We will walk through each of these with you. If you have a question about a particular criterion, please email us at fulbrightreaders@irex.org. The first category is demonstrated commitment to teaching at the secondary level. Does the applicant appear motivated to improve effectiveness and quality in the classroom or school community? Does the application show a history of and willingness of the applicant to explore new education methods and a strong commitment to motivating students as evidenced through frequent use of original and varied student engagement strategies in the classroom or school community? To the extent you can glean from the responses, what is the applicant's level of commitment to the field of education? Has their previous leadership and professional development experience contributed to their education community? This is a snapshot from the scoring rubric and the corresponding characteristics of applications that may receive a 3, 2, 1, etc. Criterion 2. Demonstrated leadership and collaboration potential. Does the applicant demonstrate confidence in leading and have past experience leading projects and collaborating with peers and administration? Does the applicant demonstrate teamwork or collaborative abilities and the ability to work independently? Does the applicant's experience demonstrate a pattern of growth, of having continued their professional learning, applying it to their practice, and using it to train and support others? Do the application responses and professional references show the applicant's experience and qualifications for the Fulbright T program media literacy cohort? This is a snapshot of the scoring rubric and the corresponding characteristics of applications that may receive a 3, 2, or 1, etc. Criterion 3. Potential for developing long-term linkages between U.S. and home country schools. Does the application show that the applicant has experience collaborating with partners despite challenging or long-distance circumstances? Does the applicant identify project ideas that he or she would like to develop between international partners in their home school? This is a snapshot from the scoring rubric and the corresponding characteristics of applications that may receive a 3, 2, 1, etc. Criterion 4, preparedness for an intensive US-based professional development program. Has the applicant shown evidence of strong ability to overcome challenges personally or professionally? Has the applicant described specific, culturally sensitive strategies for communication and collaboration, and demonstrated flexibility and willingness to work with and learn from others? Has the applicant displayed openness to perspectives that differ from their own? Does the applicant show evidence of emotional maturity and flexibility? This is a snapshot from the scoring rubric and the corresponding characteristics of applications that may receive a 3, 2, 1, etc. Criterion 5. Demonstrated commitment to and interest in promoting media literacy and critical thinking in the classroom. Has the applicant shown strong commitment to promoting media literacy in the classroom and experience integrating media literacy topics into curriculum, such as recognizing bias in propaganda and fostering civic engagement and digital citizenship among students? Does the applicant appear motivated to improve students' critical thinking, analytical, and communication skills? Does the applicant employ a variety of inquiry-based teaching strategies and foster student-centered learning in the classroom? We would like to note that those selected will likely include some candidates who already have some expertise in the subject area of media literacy, as well as some who are very interested in the topic but haven't yet done much work in this area. We welcome promising candidates with varying levels of experience in this subject area. This is a snapshot from the scoring rubric and the corresponding characteristics of applications that may receive a 3, 2, 1, etc. Other considerations. Potential to reach under-resourced schools and communities. Please consider whether there is evidence that candidates work with and will apply what they learn on the program to benefit students in under-resourced schools and communities. Does the applicant appear overqualified for the program? Please consider whether extensive previous professional development and/or schooling in the topic areas related to the Fulbright T program media literacy cohort may make the candidate overqualified for the program. In some cases, candidates with less experience in the program topic areas may benefit more from the program than those who have already had years of schoolings or trainings. For candidates with previous professional development abroad, Fulbright or other, please consider whether the candidate has already had multiple professional development opportunities, schooling opportunities, and/or abroad opportunities. Although candidates should demonstrate leadership, sometimes candidates who have had limited opportunity for professional development may be a better fit for the program. If the candidate has had previous professional development abroad, is there evidence in their applications that they have applied what they have learned on previous international professional development programs with exceptional thought, creativity, and commitment? U.S. Embassy and Fulbright Commission ranking order. Please note that, as mentioned above, all candidate applications have been reviewed by U.S. Embassy and/or Fulbright Commissions in their country. Candidates have also undergone interviews with U.S. Embassy and/or Fulbright Commissions. Based on their assessment of candidates through application review and interviews, as well as consideration of the local educational context and any regional educational priorities, the U.S. embassies and/or Fulbright Commissions ranked their list of nominated candidates. The rank list has been included in reviewer materials. Please consider the rankings, as well as the U.S. Embassy and/or Fulbright Commission interviewer comments, accessible in the candidate application PDFs, when reviewing and scoring the candidates. If your assessment of the candidate differs from the ranking order indicated by the U.S. Embassy and/or Fulbright Commission, please indicate that in the reviewer comments of the candidates. Scoring and recommendations. Shown here is a sample online score form. Your actual online score form will coincide with the rubric provided. Scale of 1 to 3 for each category, 1 being a low score and 3 being high. Please also include a short explanation for why you scored the applicant in this way and your recommendation choice. Applications will be scored on a scale of 5 to 15, 15 being the highest possible score that can be awarded. The selection committee will consider applications as outlined below. Applicant score range: exemplary or excellent candidate, 13 to 15, highly qualified candidate, 9 to 12, unlikely to be considered for the fellowship, 8 or below. In addition to the numerical score, reviewers are asked to make a recommendation of each applicant as recommended, recommend with reservations, or do not recommend. A recommended would be an applicant considered ideal for the Fulbright T Media Literacy Program without reservation or pause. A recommended with reservation is an applicant who would be considered for the program, but who reviewers may be unsure will benefit or are going to make use of the experience as intended. A do not recommend would be used to indicate an applicant is not suited for participation in the Fulbright T program media literacy cohort. There are 5 categories scored out of 3 points, thus a 13 and above is an ideal candidate for the Fulbright T program media literacy cohort. Those scored with 13 or above would receive a R according to the scoring framework. 2. A candidate receiving 2s may also be highly qualified and recommended for participation in the Fulbright T media literacy cohort, with consideration added for those working in under-resourced areas and/or no prior PD experience abroad. The candidate with all 2s and 3s would also likely receive an R. A recommended would be an applicant considered ideal for Fulbright T media literacy without reservation or pause. 2. Continued. Candidates who receive 2s in any category may also indicate that an application reviewer has reservations about the applicant's candidacy for the program. A combination of mostly 2s or with demonstration of need and/or little prior experience may qualify for a recommended with reservations. Perhaps the application reviewer sees potential in the applicant, but there are concerns about certain pieces of the application. A recommended with reservations is an applicant who would be considered for the program, but who reviewers may want to flag concerns about. 1. Candidates who receive mostly 1s would not be considered appropriate for the Fulbright T Media Literacy Program, and thus would receive a Do Not Recommend, an R, from the application reviewer. A Do Not Recommend would be used to indicate an applicant is not suited for participation in Fulbright T Media Literacy and should be used minimally. Application reviewer assignments. Each reviewer will be given a unique username and login for the IREX online application system, OAS. When you log in, you will see only the applications assigned to you. You also receive a list of your assignments at the beginning of the scoring period. Please confirm that no conflicts of interest exist for your assigned applications. Each reader will be given a spreadsheet with the names, home state, schools, rural, urban, suburban category for the applicants whose materials they've been assigned to read. These details are general indicators to inform your review and which may be considered to evaluate diversity in the applicant pool. Upon receipt of your application assignments, please confirm that your list includes no conflicts of interest. If you know that applicants, personally or professionally, this may constitute a conflict of interest. Should you have a professional connection, past or present, please notify IREX as early as possible so that IREX may reassign the application appropriately. Please review the summary spreadsheet before beginning the scoring process to confirm that there are no conflicts of interest with any applicant that you may know. If any conflicts do exist, IREX will adjust the reading assignments as necessary. This is what you will see when you use the link to access the online application system, OAS. Upon logging in, this is a screen you will see which displays your assigned applications for review. The red icon on the right generates a PDF of the applicant's responses and links to the reference forms and supplemental documents, other professional recommendations, and CV, resume, etc. The green icon clipper generates a score sheet. Please note that you must fill out all components of the score form for the score itself to register in the OAS. Once it registers, the column to the right of the summary screen will show your recommendation for program participation and the score that you have given to this applicant. You will receive a packet of information which explains in greater detail how to use the online application system. The Fulbright T program Media Literacy Cohort application has 16 different sections, from the demographic data collected about the applicant and the population they serve to the essay questions and supplemental documents like institutional support and reference forms. Our hope is that the information provides a comprehensive picture of the candidate you are considering. Please let us know if you need support in your review of any of the information available to you. Please note, the immediate supervisor reference is an online form required for submission by the candidate's immediate supervisor or school administrator. The second professional reference is at the discretion of the candidate and includes a submitted letter of support. The supplemental documents section includes space for candidates' required submission of MA transcripts and resume/CV. It also includes space that they may upload 2 additional documents in support of their application. These documents are at the discretion of the candidate and may provide supplemental information to reinforce other sections of the application or further demonstrate the applicant's candidacy for the program. It is important to note that you have access to some sensitive and confidential information about these candidates, and we ask that you treat this information as such. Please do not save applications to external flash drives or on any publicly accessible servers or computers. If you print any materials, they should be kept confidential and shredded once they are no longer needed. These materials are being provided to you via email. Fulbright T Application Reviewer Guidance. This provides a detailed overview of the grant review process. Scoring Rubric. This provides the scoring criteria for Fulbright T applications. It will be available on the online application system. We will send a PDF copy of the form so you can familiarize yourself with the scoring criteria before you begin your reviews. OAS Access Instructions. This will detail your OAS login information and also how to access your assigned applications and the evaluation form. Application Assignments. You will receive your application assignments via email. We ask that you make sure that the names we send you in this document align with the applications assigned to you on the online application system. The scoring forming rubric will also be accessible through the online application system. All scores must be submitted in the online score form. Reviewers have received the following items via email. Reviewer Agreement, ACH Information Form. Please return this to IREX as soon as possible. Next steps. Before evaluating applications, complete the Fulbright T Media Literacy Training webinar. Review all Fulbright T Media Literacy application reviewer materials. While evaluating applications, read all assigned Fulbright T Media Literacy applications by the date indicated by IREX. Complete a score form for each assigned application via the online application system OAS by the deadline indicated by IREX. Throughout the process, send questions to Fulbright readers at irex.org. Thank you.